Good evening, everyone. This is delicious Don Juan, the Texas treat, and you are listening to the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to a WrestleMania weekend edition of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. At the bottom of your screen there, still laughing from our pre-game talk, we got Tommy.
I got nothing. I got nothing. I really don't.
It's not what we heard a few minutes ago.
Yeah. And, of course, over here on the left side of your screen, we got Mike.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike, and it's WrestleMania weekend. 2022 Electric Boogaloo. That's all I got. We'll talk about it.
The absolute lack of enthusiasm was amazing.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we will.
Oh my god! The level of I don't give a shit.
Well,
yeah, really. When you think about it, that's worth discussing. But we're gonna try and hit WrestleMania weekend harder than Will did, Chris Rock on the Oscars. I had to say it once. I'm sorry.
come on, Max Caster. It had to be the first thing we all referenced.
Just about on every podcast I'm on this week. But anyway,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, today we're going to talk all about WrestleMania weekend, including some of the events that we didn't even realize were happening. Because believe me, when we talk about one, we'll talk about that. Tommy himself is actually going to be going up to the Dallas-Fort Worth area this weekend. We'll be kind of giving a rundown of what he's doing. And, yeah, that's really kind of the plan.
Not going to WrestleMania, let me tell you.
Yeah. Obviously,
Probably tickets available.
There's 14 matches on the card. We're not going to talk about all 14. We'll kind of run them down quickly. But talk first a bit of wrestling news, guys, and I think this one is a long overdue. The latest announcement on the induction to the WWE Hall of Fame is the Steiner brothers.
Yeah,
Mike, Mike, you've been following them a lot longer than any of us have. So,
yeah.
I think if not your favorite tag team of all time, they're definitely up there.
They are, yes. Yeah, they probably are. I think sometimes it depends on the day you ask me, but they're definitely in the top at all times. Look, don't get me wrong. We all know what a meme machine Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner was in his latter days. But to see him before he had, first of all, two totally different people as far as looks goes.
Yeah.
Like, from the long black-haired mullet, and he was always muscular, but obviously he wasn't looking like allegedly he may be on substances muscular. But he was ahead of his time. And the Steiners, like, honestly, like, again, if you've ever watched this show before, every now and then we'll talk about my love for early 90s pre-NWO, pre-Monday Night Wars, WCW, because it really was something. I mean, it had a lot of talent, and the Steiner brothers were right there in the middle of it. Back when tag team wrestling was relevant and meant something, and, you know, Scott Steiner was pulling off moves that were ridiculous for a man his size. Rick Steiner was a suplex machine back then, just throwing people around the ring. And they were incredible. They really are, probably looking back, my favorite tag team of all time. And I know the WWE Hall of Fame is always a thing because their time in WWE, probably not Hall of Fame worthy in general, but their time as a tag team for NWA, WCW, the stuff they did when they went to Japan even, just ridiculous. And I'm happy for them. And I know a lot of people, like I said, know Scott from his latter days, but to honestly know the Steiners as a tag team was just some of the best matches you could watch.
Yeah, real quick in the comment, Burnsy is saying, as Dr. Nick on The Simpsons would say, "Hi, everybody." What's up, B-Ninja? What's up, Burnsy? Yeah.
Ninja.
B-Ninja, yeah.
Yeah,
I just saw his next. I just comment a few later. Yeah.
Yeah, you could laugh at that. Yeah, the Steiners themselves as a tag team, they were staple. Even in the early Monday Night Wars days, they were still, as the Steiner brothers, great. They were a mainstay on Nitro and at points Thunder. Obviously, things changed once Big Papa Pump was born. Gave him the buzz cut, joined the NWO. That's kind of where it changed for them, obviously. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I think they were one of the first WCW like teams or guys to get over on NWO early in the battle.
Yeah, they were definitely team WCW. That was one of, I guess you could say, one of the more shocking post Hogan turns to the NWO was Papa Pump. You know.
Yeah.
And that's not to say Big Papa Pump wasn't over. He definitely was. He took that character to TNA. He took it back to WWE. I don't know if that Big Papa Pump is Hall of Fame worthy, but definitely work as a Steiner brother. Definitely. So I'm glad they're acknowledging that.
Ironically, I still think Big Papa Pump is Hall of Fame worthy, except for WWE, once again, like the Steiner brothers themselves. I think, unfortunately, there was a lot of bad matches that happened when he first got there, and unfortunately didn't get a ton better while he was there.
But his promo game was great. I actually was at a Raw in Austin where he came out. And
Those promos were fantastic.
Yeah, you know, so promos are always fun, you know. I definitely enjoyed, though, one of my favorite stables that the Papa Pump was in was him, Petey Williams, and Jordan Grace, all wearing the chainmail headgear, which was great. So
apparently, if I remember correctly, they did that in Chikara first, as like
King of Trios, right?
And the trios,
yeah. So
it's like they were, I forget what they called themselves, because she's now Thick Mama Pump. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, which is an accurate title. I mean, I'm not, you know, that's 100% correct.
But I'm very happy they're in. I'm glad they're acknowledging, like you said, they're in for their WCW work mostly, and that's good. That's good. I know they bought the property years ago, but it is good to see that. So, congrats to the Steiner brothers joining the Hall of Fame class, and I don't even have it pulled up in front of me. Who all is in the class besides them and the Undertaker? I'm trying to.
Sharmell and Vader, I think, have also been included.
Okay.
There might be one other. Oh, and then Warrior Award is going to Shad Gaspard.
That's right.
Posthumously, obviously, but
well, that's not. I mean, if they keep it small like that, I think that's good. I think that number they have right now is.
With someone like the Undertaker, kind of, being such a huge one for it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really shouldn't add any more at this point, especially with it being like 2 nights away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's taking place on. Well, the Hall of Fame is on Friday.
I believe. Oh, it might be tomorrow night. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tomorrow. Wow, that's how much I'm paying attention.
So good. Congrats to the Steiner brothers. Congrats to all the Hall of Fame inductees. And we'll see how the ceremony goes. If there's any sort of crazy hijinks, and I'm not just saying that because of the Will Smith thing. We all know what happened that one time that Bret Hart was in the ring for an induction for Neidhart. And tried to rush the ring. So. You know.
I mean, yeah, but then FTR and Braun Strowman kind of hemmed him up after that, so that didn't work out so well for him in the long run anyway.
Yeah, so I hope they learn.
Man, FTR is really hard to hate them even when they're heels.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. Ever since they did that,
exactly.
I've liked them. Like, so it's like no matter how heels they are, I was like, yeah, but they defended Bret Hart and legitimately punched the guy who tried to attack him. So. They're like, but FTR heels, are they though?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Don't forget Ronda Rousey's husband jumped in there too and was quick to the ring for that. So
no, they all were like, I think all of them were gonna kill that guy had the cameras not been on him. I think that would have been a closed ceremony thing.
I don't know if some of them would have worried about the cameras, but
no, they don't. You rest the area, they're not gonna worry about the cameras.
There was one video when they were carrying him out. Braun Strowman is walking up behind them, and that's when I think. Cash punches the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Strowman, had he not seen that punch, was gonna just rip that guy's head off. But he's like, oh no, they got it. Okay, cool. I'll just help them escort this guy. I think he was like walking like, yeah, I'm gonna murder this man right in front of everybody. I actually don't care.
Kind of wish I would have gotten to see that. Anyway,
all
right.
It's somewhere It's somewhere. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, let's get into WrestleMania weekend. We'll just go ahead and get into the 2-night event, WrestleMania 38 in Arlington, Texas. And 6 years to the day that we attended WrestleMania 32 in Arlington, guys.
What a difference 6 years made.
Yes, I know. You know, and I remember us attending 32. It was exciting to be there. You know, it was
It was the highlight of my wrestling fandom. Like,
yeah.
going to a WrestleMania.
Yeah, something Mike, you and I had talked about going since we were at the 97 Rumble on the floor,
Right.
you know, in San Antonio. So for that to happen was great. It was for you, me, and Tina. That was our first WrestleMania. Tommy, of course, had been to a few before.
Yeah, Mr. I saw the best match ever.
That was my third. Hey, man, look. Like the first one I went to was on a Wing and a Prayer. The second one cost a lot, and it was not the greatest trip all along. So
Wait, you went to Houston and then New Orleans, right?
Yeah,
I went to Houston and New Orleans.
Yeah, so
I went to the first New Orleans one. I didn't go to the second New Orleans one.
So I'm interested to see how I know they're going to try and pull whatever attendance number they want, like just combine the two. But let's be honest, give me a one-night attendance to see if you top what we did, and we were there for 32. That's going to be hard because that place was packed. And from what I've seen on pictures of the stage, it looks like it's going to be a very similar stage setup to what we had as far as the big star, you know?
Believe it.
I don't know if they're going to be, because there was no ramp up the side of the stage to them to bring stuff in for props, like the big cereal box for the New Day's entrance. They actually had a guy with a forklift bringing stuff up to do all that stuff. There was a guy driving a forklift all night. It was crazy. So seeing that behind the scenes stuff was pretty cool that you didn't get to see on TV. So, but this one is, of course, over 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. And,
again, where'd they get that madcap idea from? Wow, that's so original.
Yeah.
2 nights of their biggest show of the year. It's almost like someone did that already.
You should DM those New Japan guys who run the show and give them that idea. They'd probably love that.
Yeah, I think they would.
You know what? You're right. I'm gonna tweet at New Japan and Gato and say, hey, you know what you guys should do? Wrestle Kingdom? It should be 2 nights. And you know what? It should be that way going forward.
But this is going to be the norm going forward for WrestleMania.
That's what I mean. It's like, I hated it when they said that. I was like, just say you're copying New Japan. Just say it.
They won't. So.
God, sorry. That bugged me so bad when I read that.
B Ninja 2 nights of filler. That's great. So we won't get in. Let's briefly mention the 4 matches on night 1 that we're not going to pick. Rey Mysterio and Dominic versus The Miz and Logan Paul.
What do you mean, man? That's the only reason I'm watching.
Okay.
Logan Paul is on there.
Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
Dear God.
New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. And then, of course, Seth Rollins versus an opponent to be announced by Mr. McMahon once he's in the ring. So.
Okay. I want to give it to Seth Rollins for tweeting pictures of anybody in WWE who is not currently back or active as his potential opponent, because that's fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to give it to him. He has actually made me legitimately interested in his match alone, if nothing else. I was like, okay, Seth, you got my attention. I'll give you that, brother. Good job.
No, I think we all kind of assume who it's supposed to be, unless apparently, like that one thing said, he backs out. But he's tweeting pictures of Goldberg, of Mr. McMahon, of Shane McMahon, of Asuka, of anybody who's injured. I don't know. He probably did a Bailey one. Yeah. I probably missed it, but he probably did.
I think he did do a Bailey. Now here's what I said. I was like, okay, but if it really is Asuka or Bailey, I won't be mad.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it was Bailey, so it would always be a dream. B Ninja says it's gonna be Marco's stunt. That's great.
Tweet it. That was the big retweet. It was one of them was Marco's stunt.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm serious.
That's funny. Obviously, I think everyone assumes and knows, thanks to the internet, thanks to we know what's going on, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. We think. Unless, I mean, I can't think of anyone else if it's not, I feel almost like if it's not Cody Rhodes, the crowd's going to shit on it, because I can't think of anyone else that's going to, really, unless they somehow get John Moxley to show up. I doubt that. Yeah.
I doubt that, but I was going to say,
he is in town.
My eyes, but he'd have to be Dean Ambrose. But
yeah.
My thing is, I think the indie AEW fans would if he shows up, the AEW fans are going to shit on it anyway. I'm calling that right now. But I think the casual fans won't mind if it's not him, because they may not be as knowledgeable. I'm working on the assumption a lot of hardcore wrestling fans, there won't be as many in that building. There'll be a lot of WWE and common fans. I'm sure there'll be plenty of those, which good for them. Y'all, this
sure
is
the Logan Paul fangirls will be on a whole section.
Why not? Why not? That's still money they're making. Because here's my feeling about WrestleMania. Hardcore fans may not care as much this year, as evident by the three of us, but to the casual fans who are going to have a great time, I hope it is the greatest show for you guys. I legitimately do. I have no interest, but I hope that everyone who goes has the best time ever. And I think that's because, we had a great time at ours, and a lot of people watching didn't enjoy 32. That's fine. We had a great time. A lot of people who watch other WrestleManias did not have as good a time, but people who were there always rave about it. And I think that's what matters is the people who are there who paid to buy the ticket. And if we watch it on pay-per-view, TV, whatever, we don't like it, that's our opinion. But people who are there, it can be a great experience.
You're secretly getting a ticket for this, aren't you?
Oh, no.
You're trying to...
He'll find a way. Yeah, 32, I remember from when we went, we were worried about the card because there was a lot of injuries going in. That was when Seth Rollins busted his ACL. There was a lot of that. And it was a marathon night. Like, it started at 4 in the afternoon with pre-show stuff and didn't end till well after 10 with Roman Reigns and Triple H. And it was more of a sigh of relief when it ended, but people cheered, and then...
Yeah, we only had an hour to get across town to go to VIP.
Exactly, yeah. We went back to the hotel real quick and went over to the midnight show there, VIP. So, but yeah, I mean, if it's not Cody, they got to bring in some huge surprise for this. I don't know who else they would get, but Cody's the one that stands out. But
Goldberg.
Yeah, I hope not. I'm just curious to know if you think this is a long-term deal, if he's signed, or is it really just something short-term, like a few months or something like that?
I gotta think. If it's Cody, he might be playing the field. It might be just short term at a time because I know a lot of people are well, not a lot of people because I haven't really seen it, but some people will probably crap on him for going back. But I gotta be honest, a check's a check.
Yeah.
So I don't think he didn't necessarily hate his time in where did he just leave AEW. I'm sorry, I forgot that fast.
I would hope not. He started the company, but yeah.
I just think he didn't, maybe didn't quite care for everything that was happening and the way he wanted it to go, which is fine. I mean, that happens. But I do not think he'll like everything that goes on in WWE for that matter. But 2 months of a deal, a couple million he'll probably get.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got a kid. He can knock himself out. So
yeah. The only thing with me, and again, like you said, it's a paycheck. If he's happy to go there and get it, that's good. But I saw a lot of people like, oh, he's going to get booked better now in WWE, and I'm like, first of all, like, he was booked as one of the top guys of AEW. Like, even though he would take a loss to new guys coming in, he would get that win back. Yeah. On a lot of them that came in. He had a lot of huge moments. He was the only one who got that entrance up the middle on the ramp, elevator thing. And I mean, look, if Vince is going to do this just to spite AEW, I guess maybe that's a possibility. I can't see him coming into AEW and being a top guy because right now the only top guys they care about are Reigns and Lesnar. So is he gonna wind up like fighting Damian Priest for I think he still has the U.S. title, I assume. I don't know.
No, Finn Balor has it.
There you go. So should I know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like he'll get his moment, but I also don't know if WWE would sign him short term. I don't know if they would do things that wouldn't be like in a year. So I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
All right, on to some match predictions here. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Mike, where are you going with this one?
I guess Nakamura and Boogs, because that seems like a new team.
Yeah.
And the Usos always have the titles. That's all I got.
I mean, you said the Usos always have the titles. I'm going to stick with the Usos at this point. I can't
Probably also a smart thing.
Tommy?
I'm going Nakamura and Boogs, only because it's Nakamura, and dear God, I want to happen at this show.
Raw Women's Championship. This one's one of the more interesting builds up, and it's interesting too because both women's championships are on night one. So But Raw is
That's a little weird to me, but never
yeah,
mind.
Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. This one is one that I'm having trouble deciding either way, honestly. It's this one. Honestly, of all the feuds they've built up, you really don't know which way they're going to go. Maybe one other match potentially, but this is the one that's kind of tough to call. Tina has some weird thought because they did a thing where Bianca was cutting Becky's hair on Monday. She's wondering if Becky's going to cut off Bianca's ponytail.
Well, that's what she tried to do on Monday, apparently.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
So she tried to cut Bianca's first.
Okay.
Is what I saw in the clip, and then Bianca reversed it into the KOD, and then cut some of her hair. So, unless it was like the tease before she actually does it, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel if they go that route, you're almost going to kill the Belair character because that's part of the trademark.
They've tried really hard to do that this past year anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just going to say, you don't touch a black woman's hair. I don't care how racial that sounds or how stereotypical. That shit is not a joke. I don't know what WWE
someone's going to die.
WWE played too many games at this point. Like, okay, everything else was funny. It's not funny anymore, guys. Y'all need to stop playing these games.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm going to pick Bianca.
Okay.
Because at this point, if you don't, you really have ruined everything you did leading her up to the previous WrestleMania. Like, oh god, we could go into a whole episode about why they can't build stars. But anyways, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Bianca as well because here's where my thought is. Last year, it was Sasha. This year, it's going to be Becky. Maybe next year, it's Charlotte, and maybe the following year it's Bayley. What if she runs through and beats the 4 horsewomen of WWE in order at WrestleMania? I mean,
excuse me, sir. Don't you put that voodoo on Bayley? I don't care about the other 3. I kind of I don't mind it being this Becky because I just haven't been into her character since she's been back.
Yeah.
If it was the man Becky, I would have been like, no way.
But I mean, that's one way to put Bianca Belair over. And,
the Seth Rollins infested Becky, I don't know.
Seth Rollins infested Becky.
That's kind of what it is. I mean that in the best way because they're a couple, but it's
but it's so much more hilarious. But it's funnier because they're a couple. Anyway,
Tommy, your pick.
Bianca.
Bianca, all right.
I just don't. There's no point in her not winning. I mean. And of course, again, WWE par for the course. But there's no point in her not winning. I mean, what else? What else does she need to do to prove that she's capable? Yeah. And I'm still not over the SummerSlam thing. I'm not sorry. That was still bullshit. So.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're watching right along with us, or if you're watching afterward, please make your predictions as well. Put them in the comments. Let us know what you think. And then. Now, I would say this is going to be the main event of the night as far as the last match, but as we know, the Kevin Owens, Stone Cold Steve Austin confrontation on the KO show is apparently going to end the show on night 1. That's where they're going to leave it.
What?
That's what I've understood.
No, he's right. This is what the story
is. It's going to end night 1. Now, the only reason...
This must be the thing that Stone Cold was mad about, and I don't blame him.
The only reason this would make sense to me is if they set up a match for night 2. That's the only reason this would work. But I don't know.
But you're talking about WWE bookings. So
I know, but then again, it doesn't make sense exactly. So, but yeah, when they announced Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship, I thought, well, this has to be the main event of one of the nights, most likely night 1, because they're going to try the unification belt for the WWE Universal Championship. But this is probably going to be the last match, and if it's not, something's not right here. But because of that segment they're going to do. So, Charlotte versus Ronda. The signs point to Ronda for me. I got to go with Ronda. You guys all think the same thing, right? Yeah. I mean, it just... Knowing how they book and knowing how, I guess, kind of predictable it is Ronda's back in the fray and kind of pick up where she left off, really.
And looks totally enthused to be there.
Now, it's worth mentioning before we get into night 2, some bit of news that I kind of wanted to save and sandwich in between both nights is the announcement from Triple H that he has officially retired from wrestling. I believe it's 20 years and a day to the day he debuted, right? Because it was March 24th, right?
No. He was in WWE way before.
Maybe debuted as Triple H.
Maybe it's Triple H.
Okay, I'm sorry. When he made his pro wrestling debut, which was I forget when it was.
No, 20 years is... Dude, we're old.
I'm sorry.
20 years ago was 2002.
Yeah,
he was in WCW.
My mind goes.
He was there in like at least 96, 97. So
I think it was 94 then.
Maybe 30 years? I don't know. Maybe
30.
It might have been 30 years because he was in WCW as Terror Rising.
Right,
Yeah.
maybe 92.
I'm sorry, I will never
2002.
be over the fact that was his first name and gimmick and that hair. The hair.
Yeah. Then we got that name. It's hilarious. Terra Rising from Killer Kowalski.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's his career very polarizing at times. He was the guy that we hated seeing with the championship almost every damn pay-per-view, but one of the best heels they ever had.
Like Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Still, it sucks because
Or less.
he doesn't get that retirement match. You almost wish that for so many of these superstars and wrestlers that have been around for so long, but his is a cardiac event, and he just can never wrestle again. And I think that's what
I'm still calling Triple H versus Cody Rhodes at the SummerSlam. It's wrestling.
You think they would do it though?
It's wrestling. Why wouldn't they?
Because
I'm only 60%.
Yeah,
kidding.
But I really felt like if he was healthy, they would have set up some sort of Cody versus Triple H thing. If not WrestleMania for SummerSlam, because that would have made the most sense. But I don't know. I'm congrats on a great career. Congrats on your retirement. But I know deep down this is not the way he wanted to retire.
For sure.
So
obviously.
Yeah, but enjoy the time with the kids. That's really what you can do right now. Watch them grow up.
I don't know. We saw Tom Brady couldn't go like 2 months being home with his wife and kids. And
but then
he went back. So
that might be because of gas prices. Let's be honest here. But then again, with the news that the Buccaneers coach is stepping into the front office role and someone else is coming up, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that Tom Brady pushed for Bruce Arians to not be his coach anymore if he wanted to come back. So
not that much. I just like the joke that he couldn't stay home with his wife and kids for 3 months. That's all. That's all I had. I didn't actually know more about it.
Yeah, but there's another joke out there because gas prices got so high he couldn't afford to drive around anymore, so he's got to go back and make some more money. That was kind of the joke with that. So.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah. All right, night 2. I think on paper this is
as bad as it looks.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a better night. Only because you got Bobby Lashley versus Osmosis, you got Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. What?
Let me ask this question.
What's that?
How many matches on night 2 are between 2 wrestlers, or has a majority of wrestlers that have been in wrestling more than 3 years? I'm looking at the first couple matches.
Actually, he's got a good point there.
And I don't know how long Austin Theory's been in, but I know he's young.
Yeah, but Pat McAfee not as long. If you're going to like whoever in the match, it's like
no. Theory's been around at least like 5. I'll say almost 6 years because
I'll take your word for it.
Because he was on the indie circuit a lot. He was in PWG heavy.
Okay. Well, then he's way too old to be taking selfies. Get out.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's probably still mid-20s.
Yeah. Not Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, anything goes match. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Edge versus AJ Styles.
This is the only thing that I legit care about. If I were to buy a ticket, it would just be to watch this match and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally it.
And you guys answer my question. That's the main match we want to see of those that we're not going to predict. So but
well, all right. Call me sexist or something. I want to see the women's tag team match also.
Well, we're gonna pick that one. I'm talking about the.
I know.
Yeah,
but I feel like Rhea Ripley's gonna try and pin more people in a suggestive way that people are gonna make fun of on the internet. Apparently, she's gonna be like, "I know what I'm doing." Wink.
Yeah.
My brother, which brother I'm not gonna say. He messaged me one of her pins and said, "I think I might start watching wrestling again." I was like, "You son of a bitch."
Which does that lead to the theory I mentioned before we got on the show? We won't say it out loud, but just saying.
I mean, maybe so. Besides Edge and AJ Styles, though, I am interested to see Pat McAfee and Austin Theory because McAfee's been great when he's been there. So how he does in WrestleMania, we'll see. So.
Wasn't Lashley injured? I thought Bobby Lashley was injured.
He was. He came back already.
Came
apparently,
back, yeah.
past Monday.
So
Has it been that long? Have I not paid attention?
Well,
see, that's
yeah.
the
Well,
thing.
yes.
There was no Fastlane this year. It's been a while since the Elimination Chamber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it has been a good year. We didn't have to do a fast lane.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have dealt with it either way. But
That's true.
Think
but
about
I'd
it.
have to hear. I'd have to hear about it. We have to talk about it on the
Exactly.
show. So.
There was no WWE pay-per-view in the month of March. You know?
March was a
this
good month.
was a good month.
We had Revolution, then we went to Dynamite. That AEW's really been the focus of March for us. And there was no major WWE show. They just did their weekly events and setting up WrestleMania.
And going into April, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, so
Which, on a side note, sometime soon my Thunder Rosa and new shirt should be coming in.
nice.
Because I ordered it the next day.
Nice. My wife actually wants a Thunder Rosa shirt now, and she and I might order her that. I'm gonna see which one she wants, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and get her a Jericho Appreciation Society shirt.
And also, just sort of one more side note, because I know it's not what we're talking about, but I think to hype myself up, I need mariachis at work before I go into my room every day.
Yeah,
'Cause
my job, we go back in the office April 11th. I would definitely love mariachis as an entrance.
Yes, to get you in every day.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. Just grew up in San Antonio all my life. If there were mariachis at NBC,
Right?
that would actually be pretty. I'd be like, that's pretty cool. So,
Just as long as it plays El Rey on my way into the office. That's all I need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to get at least a couple gritos out of nowhere from some
Yep.
people.
And everybody in
going.
their cubicles yelling, Yora, Yora. Yeah. All right, Women's Tag Team Championship that Mike has already mentioned. Queen Zelina and Carmella defending against Sasha Banks and Naomi, against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, against Natalya and Shayna Baszler. So, four-way, I'm pretty sure this is a one fall. I hope so, or else this is going to be a longer night than we thought. Mike, are you thinking that Rhea Ripley's going to get the pin for her team in a suggestive manner? Are you sticking with that, or what do you got?
Nikita Lyons
Yeah,
comes out
I mean,
and
I
helps her
honestly
pin
was going
somebody.
to pick Ripley and Morgan because, like we've talked about, like I don't really watch we don't really watch Raw, don't really keep up. But my timeline on Twitter and stuff is full of things from these two, and apparently
Great
they're
algorithm.
just like,
Yep,
what's that?
that's a great algorithm. Just saying.
Yeah, what am I going to say? Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like apparently, as much as Rhea and Nikki Ash was kind of just an awkward tag team, apparently like Rhea and Liv are just like perfect together. They throw off that legit best friends, like not like AEW best friends, but like legit bestie vibe. And apparently it's just getting a lot of popularity. And I mean, WWE hasn't cared about the women's tag team champions for a while. Like, I don't even know if anyone remembers that Zelina Vega's a queen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be down with Ripley and Morgan winning them.
I'm sure her husband remembers.
Mhm.
He didn't have a choice.
Tommy, who you got?
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn. I'm torn between Rhea and Liv and Sasha and Naomi, only because I want Sasha and Naomi to win. So I don't know, but you know what? I'll be contrary. I'll go Sasha and Naomi, just to throw the pick out there. But no, Rhea and Liv are pretty fun. I see the few clips I do see, when it shows them, it looks like they're actually having fun, which is hard.
Good call. Play it smart. Only a few clips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just undersell it.
Damn it.
Nice.
Anyway, like I was saying, but Rhea winning could be better as long as Nikita Lyons comes out and helps her with the pinfall.
God. Look,
I like
we're
that
three
joke.
guys on a
It's funny.
podcast. This doesn't make us look any better, guys. We gotta
No.
no.
Yeah. I try to get Tina on this week. She's just exhausted. It's been crazy.
That's fair.
Brandon B Ninja says Rhea and Liv is like Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee on Freaky Friday. Yep.
God.
All right, B Ninja, you're kind of on tonight.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Yeah.
You had some good ones tonight.
Now I just want to watch Freaky Friday again because I haven't watched that in years. So.
I'll be honest with you. I honestly, since they made this a team, I've wanted to say, yeah, Sasha and Naomi. this is a bit of a dream team as far as tag teams go. Like, they can run this division.
And
Problem is, I don't trust WWE to book that. You know,
I also agree with D Ninja's last comment.
Nobody trusts
for the same reason.
Yeah, there it is. Sasha's first Mania win should be something better, in my opinion. I agree with that. Now,
damn it! This would be her first.
I really hope this isn't a one-off WrestleMania or one-off tag team up between Sasha and Naomi. I think they both need this partnership, and eventually, hopefully by SummerSlam, they could be winning the tag team championship, making a run with it. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna go with Rhea and Liv Morgan. You know, you could say it's the TikTok algorithm with a suggested pin or whatever, but Liv Morgan over the last year has really turned a lot of heads as far as how she's performed in the ring. Now that she's gotten the spotlight, some main event shots, she deserves this. She deserves to have some gold around her waist. So I would love to see Rhea and Liv win, and eventually, yes, I would love to see Sasha and Naomi get the titles from them because that would be a hell of a match. So
I really do feel bad for Liv because it was like, you know, they were always pushing her to do something different or get better, and she did both of those things, and then they did nothing with her. It's like if they would have done the same with Trish, but never gave her a championship as like proof that she had finally did it, which is really messed up. Like, Liv Morgan's been really been pushing, and at this point, I wouldn't even mind it if she went back down to NXT and just faced off with Mandy Rose, because at least Mandy Rose got a belt out of the deal. You know, I don't know.
All right, Raw Tag Team Championship, RK Bro defending against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. This one's hard to pick.
This one is hard to pick.
This was very difficult to pick, but I'm gonna say the Street Profits getting a WrestleMania moment. I thought it was very awkward. I happened to turn on Raw on Monday. I know, surprising, right? And having to see them run in and make an attack in the ring, I was like, okay, this is something pretty intense. So, but I'm gonna go Street Profits here. Mike, what about you?
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go Alpha Academy, and I'm gonna tell you a great reason why you want to see this.
Okay.
I want to see Otis with a belt. Can they extend it enough to put it on him, or does he have to shoulder it like Big Show? I want to see what happens.
I do admit I do want to see that.
So I'm going to go Alpha Academy.
I feel like it's going to look like he's wearing one of those like action figure belts or something. Just
yes.
Throw it like that. Yeah. So
just like a Texas belt buckle, just going to look like he's a kicker or something. Cowboy. Oh, that's an old word. Sorry.
Tommy, what about you?
No, I'll go Street Profits too. I think they're about due. I do laugh because I just read, like, I think or did one of you guys share it? Like, they just took marijuana off the wellness policy thing for WWE. Mm-hmm. So I think it's gonna be either. I think it's good. I don't think RK Bro's leaving with the belts, and I don't think Randy or Riddle are gonna care. They're gonna be like, we lost the belts,
bro.
That's crazy, bro.
See. What would be better is if, like, Orton's trying to carry the team and Riddle just can't, like, stay attentive and stuff to things. It's just like,
oh, please. Oh, no. Oh, hell no. Orton be right there with him, dude.
I know, but it's funnier because of Riddle's character. That's
but...
Because it's not really... Like, I'm sure Orton may, but it's not really a part of his character ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Riddle is like a walking WWE, like, you get it? You get it?
It's true.
You get it?
I do. I will say that one of the few clips that maybe I legitimately thoroughly enjoyed in recent years was when Orton said, "The only thing I care about is this team and these titles," and Riddle said, "You do care about me," and Orton goes, "Ah, ah!" I was like, "Okay, that was actually funny." Like, wow, when they're trying, they could really have something.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, for people that watch it on a regular basis, I've heard that RK Bro has kind of been one of the most entertaining Raw things they've got going.
That's because Orton stopped trying to fight it when he wants to laugh and just doesn't care anymore. He just like said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to laugh at this stuff because it's funny.
He's having a good time with it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's at veteran status.
All right. Unification Championship, at least they're promoting it as that. WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar, WWE Champion against Universal Champion Roman Reigns. RK Bro needs a bridge. Mr. Popo is their manager, according to B Ninja there.
Damn.
So
That's hilarious.
my question for you guys is, who wins this one? And is this a true unification? Like, are we really getting rid of the Universal Championship, or is the winner going to be carrying around 2 championship belts
I've
for
heard.
the time being?
I thought I heard they're trying to do the universal or the new belt like 1 for 2. You know
Okay.
the word. What's the word you just used?
Unified,
Unified,
undisputed,
sorry, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Kind of like they had for a while back in the early 2010s or whenever it was.
Like when Daniel Bryan had both belts and it was the World Heavyweight. It was WWE.
No, not where he had 2.
Was,
where it was the one unified.
It was Jericho had 2, and then I think when Triple H beat him at Mania, Triple H had the
and
one
then,
belt.
then it became the undisputed title.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, something like that. Yeah.
Well,
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this.
What?
Here's my other issue. Are they going to... Because the thing I do not want them to do is get rid of the WWE Championship. Here's
That
why
would
I think...
suck. Yeah.
Here's why I think they might do that. Because literally a year ago, New Japan just did. They did the IWG Championship. Look, I don't care if I'm riding this train. It's clearly left the station already. We're getting 2 nights of WrestleMania again. So my thing is,
original idea.
My thing is, are they going to unify it and like just get effectively end the lineage of both belts and create the new WWE World Universal 95, 7-Eleven, 24/7.
Post-pandemic.
I've got it. What's bigger than Universal? The WWE Multiversal Belt. The Multiverse Belt. You can defend it in.
Bye, Tommy.
Not only is it bigger than the universe, but they're jumping on the bandwagon of Marvel to get a little bit of that, and I guess DC, whatever. I mean, was the best cheer moment ever.
If they announce the sale to Disney, maybe that'll happen, right? You know.
Ooh. Actually, I'll forgive it if that happens immediately afterwards. But anyway.
Next thing you know, Spider-Man's bringing the belt in, and there we go.
Heck no, dude!
At this point, would that be the most ridiculous thing ever?
I want OG Mickey running down with a briefcase in this match, a la Seth Rollins 7 years ago when this was the main event before.
How long were you holding that in to break that up? Okay, because I can tell you have been waiting. The second you said it, I was like, "Oh, he has been waiting to talk about this."
Like in the context of time, the same amount of time that CM Punk was out of wrestling is the same amount of time between the first time this was a WrestleMania event and now that this is another WrestleMania main event. And people thought he was away forever. So just throwing that out there.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way. That's crazy.
You're right. You're right.
B Ninja says, Mike, leave. That's what he literally just said on the comments there.
Wait, you got to be more specific about which comment you want me to leave.
He's talking, I think, about that. I think because of the delay, the multiversal championship.
Clarify, please. Yeah. You're not wrong, and I probably should, but I just need clarification.
All right, who's walking away with both championships? Mike, what do you got?
Roman, right? I guess. I mean, are you gonna give Lesnar the streak and this streak? Like, he doesn't need it. Like, I mean, at this point, it's got to be Reigns because Reigns has to lose to the next star you're trying to make. You made Brock 7 years ago, and beyond that, like, it's got to be Reigns.
You made Brock 20 years ago. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Tommy, what about you?
Took a break.
Yeah.
I don't know because the messed up part is I like this Brock Lesnar. I actually caught his promo from Raw this past week because I was on YouTube and curious and I watched it and I was like, I like this Lesnar. I actually don't want this Lesnar to lose. I'm dead serious. I want this Lesnar to win. I don't think he will. I don't. I feel like he could, and this could be like Lesnar's receipt for everything that him and Heyman put him through. But I don't know if WWE's gonna pull that trigger. So I'll just go Reigns. I'll go Reigns.
All right. Well, then we're all going Roman Reigns. Happiness says the Nick Khan gonna release the WWE title for budget cuts title. That's great. I guess that's the champion of whoever got released.
Oh.
But anyway, I'm gonna go Roman on this as well. Make it a clean sweep. You said it. This is Lesnar you're enjoying, but maybe for that reason is why he loses. And one of the down
Can't have
spots,
things you like. This is WWE. Tommy.
yeah, one of the down moments for me of that WrestleMania we went to 6 years ago was
After
Lesnar's
McMahon
match
entrance?
against Dean Ambrose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be something big, and then of course you find out later when Dean Ambrose, now John Moxley, had an interview about it. He was so pissed off because Lesnar didn't want to fucking do anything. That was supposed to be some big sort of hardcore match, something like that, and Lesnar didn't want to do it. Like that night, decided, no, I don't want to do any of this shit.
In all fairness, I've seen Heyman flip the opposite side of that. I know Heyman is Heyman,
Right.
so I believe him as much as I can throw him, and he's a pretty big dude. I don't know if I can throw him.
Yeah.
But I know he was doing one of the. I think it was like they had gone to England and done a bunch of like speaking things, and someone brought that up because that is the story we always heard. Heyman kind of countered that it wasn't exactly like that, and kind of put more on Ambrose. So I don't know, but I agree. Like I don't know. It's Brock has not been entertaining for a long time until apparently this recent run, and I'm not watching it. So
yeah, and like you said, keep it on Roman. He's supposed to put over the next big star you're gonna make. It makes no sense.
At this point, whoever the hell that's gonna be, because they have literally built no one else up to be next.
I mean, it's Scott Steiner. I mean, Rick Steiner Jr. Right? I mean, Rick is totally his dad.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's your point, though. But yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
On a totally side note for Broadbreaker, they're Natalia'd him, right? Because her real dad is Neidhart, but they always slip in the Bret Hart connection in the same way that Braun is actually Rick's son, but the clear comparison is always to Big Papa Pump. So,
which it's weird, and obviously I maybe understand the Neidhart thing, but it is a little disrespectful. I mean, he's passed away. Obviously, he had his demons with drugs and whatnot, and he dealt with that. But he's gone, and there's no people know Neidhart for what he was in the ring, not outside of it. So I think it's worth.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just because Bret Hart was the bigger overall. Yeah, I think in the Hart name itself was just bigger. I don't necessarily mean it as because of what Neidhart went through. I just think it was like, would you rather be related to Bret Hart or Neidhart, even though it's your literal daughter? That's all I meant.
Yeah. As far as the Braun Breaker thing, I just acknowledge who his real dad is. I mean, the guy's, I think he's going in your Hall of Fame for crying out loud. Like, you can at least acknowledge who his father is and what that legacy is. And if he ever does make it main roster, which more than likely he's going to, and they make a run up into where he's in a main event of a major show, you better at least talk about that, because that's going to be important. So, being into it benefited the three-way women's title because that stole the show for me at 32. Yeah, where they got rid of the Divas title that night, turned it into the women's championship, which we were all happy about.
Because that was one of the first matches, and of course the ladder match were to me two of the top matches.
And then he says it's going to be Reigns versus Ridge Holland. Jesus, maybe at WrestleMania Backlash, right?
I don't think you want him dropping Reigns on his neck. So
that's true. That's just sad, but I'm sure he feels bad about that. That's another thing worth mentioning. We'll talk about that.
I will say what I have heard was he was the guy who constantly was calling Big E after that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would hope so in the guy's career, for crying out loud. All right, so WrestleMania 38 is a 2-night event, Saturday and Sunday, April 2nd and 3rd, at 7 p.m. Central Time, both days, on Peacock in the U.S., WWE Network internationally, and it is one of the few events every year WWE actually does sell this as a pay-per-view. You can get the whole bundle on your local pay-per-view provider, both nights, for $60. So,
interesting.
At least they do that, right? You know,
that $60 I'll be saving for something else.
Hopefully a whole lot of pictures and autographs at WrestleCon.
So let us know what your predictions are for that, and your thoughts on the show too. Comment, tweet at us at CCG_WrestleCast. Let us know what you think. Now, quickly, I think it's worth mentioning, guys. Did you know that NXT has a show this weekend too?
I did, but only because I listen to other wrestling podcasts.
So I'm going to tell the truth. The same thing I told you guys before we started. I'm going to tell everybody right now.
Yeah.
Until I was checking the schedule for what was all happening this coming weekend, I had no idea NXT had a show this weekend. And I'm not even. You know what's funny? I'm not even trying to crap on NXT. I'm not even trying to like I don't watch. I'm not trying. I'm trying to do that. I just legitimately had no clue whatsoever that they had a show this weekend.
But in all fairness, that's because you don't watch it.
True.
I mean, you can't say they don't watch it,
but if you don't watch it, it's like I heard no news about it. I heard nothing. Like that just went right past me.
That's the thing. Like when NXT was on, even pre 2.0 days, when Triple H was actually running shit. If there was a takeover coming up, I might have missed a few weeks of NXT Weekly, but I knew there was a takeover coming up because it was popping up on ads, it was popping up on feeds. There's barely any advertising for this. Like I've noticed is they don't market NXT for shit now. Yeah,
I mean, because one reason I would always catch a lot of NXT stuff coming up is because the YouTube ads. When I'd be watching anything on YouTube, like you would get like a quick, like one of the 15 or 30-second crawls before a video or after about NXT. And it could be even something non-wrestling related. I think I saw it on a motivational video I was watching once. I was like, why is NXT popping up? But okay, whatever, Triple H, do your thing. Yeah. But it's like there's nothing. I was like, and this is where, as a wrestling fan, some of the guilt hits me, because not guilt for not watching, because if I don't like it, I don't like it, but I feel bad for the wrestlers that are there, because we all three of us have said this a number of times. We have no problem, for the most part, with the wrestlers in these companies.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and it's like they all have, and I say like they're perfect. Of course, they have their opinion because they think WWE is the best. They're supposed to. They work there, but it's like. Yeah, and they can feel that way, and a lot of fans can feel that way. That's fine, but just me, I'm just so uninterested nowadays. I was a Seth Rollins, Tyler Black fan for years before he ever got on TV. The fact that I only remotely know what he's doing right now in wrestling is almost depressing, in a way.
Yeah, Bina just says it'll probably have only a third of the attendance. He was there at the takeover 6 years ago when it was Nakamura and Sami Zayn. That was Nakamura's debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was.
And then, never paying $300 for a ticket, but that. I mean, we didn't make it to that. We drove up to that area that Friday. We watched it from our hotel or Motel 6, right?
Yep.
But this is what sucks about this stand and deliver. It's during the day on Saturday. It's at noon on Saturday before night one. When
There's
a lot
tons
of
stuff going on.
Yeah, there's WrestleMania Access. There's, that's like their big convention.
WrestleCon. There's all the indie shows.
Actually, I don't think there's an Access this year.
Did they not do an Access at all?
There's something, because I saw a thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly.
Yeah. Right.
They're doing something smaller, but it's not Access, which is why. Okay, cool. Then I was going to try to go to Access, but if it's not happening, great. More money for WrestleCon. So. Yeah.
So just quickly, we're not going to make any predictions, but I'll just mention the matches that are happening. Pre-show match is going to be NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, Toxic Attraction versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, recently reunited. Tommaso Ciampa versus Tony D'Angelo, LA Knight versus Gunther. Walter, yes. NXT North American Championship, Carmelo Hayes against Santos Escobar, against Solo Sikoa, against Grayson Waller, against Cameron Grimes. And I'll have a comment on this. NXT Tag Team Championship, Imperium versus the Creed Brothers versus MSK. NXT Women's Championship is Mandy Rose versus Cora Jade versus Io Shirai versus Kaylee Ray. And then the NXT Championship is Dolph Ziggler versus Braun Breaker Steiner. Is NXT become we can't have one-on-one matches or one tag team versus another tag team matches? We got to add more to it? Is that what it's turned into now?
Well, I mean 1.0 had its fair share of triple threat match.
Where the majority of the card is like that?
Well, there's also 7 matches. NXT used to have a standard 5-match setup.
Yeah.
Well, some of these might be on the pre-show, didn't you say?
Just the first one.
Just
the women's tag team championship. Yeah, the women's tag team championship is on the pre-show.
Oh, so there's a pre-show for Stand and Deliver?
Exactly. So
okay. Actually, wait. Yeah, once you said that made it weirder.
Wait, Tommy. Name the 2 women in the Toxic Attraction tag team.
Without looking at the cheat sheet of the titles.
Gigi Dolan is one. I only know her because that's Priscilla Kelly. I can't name the other chick. I keep forgetting her name.
Oh, I can't either. I was just wondering if you knew.
JC Jane is the other one. So
Thank you.
yeah,
But no,
Do we know who she was before? Was she anybody before?
I can't recall.
she was Jamie. I think Jamie something. Hold on.
Yep.
Not Jamie Hayter.
I just saw B Ninja's comment. Oh my god.
Which one?
It's the WrestleMania panel and then NXT sick and disappointed.
Look, of these now, granted, like when this starts, I'm gonna be wrapping up practice for my daughter's softball team. I honestly, I'm really only mainly interested in the championship match, the main event, Ziggler versus Braun Breaker. You know, Ziggler in this NXT element, I'm interested to see. Bina just says Avery Taylor was, I think, JC Jane's previous name. So
Okay.
I knew so.
He's
but I do also think this is the show where Mandy Rose drops the title, and I really hope it's Io Shirai. I'm not holding my breath because we know who's booking this shit now. So, but I'll kind of hope it's yeah, exactly. So, is there any match on there that you guys would be interested in from Stand and Deliver?
I feel like the North American Championship match will at least be like
I was gonna
Crazy.
say
Spot Fest. I mean, it was Spot Fest, but yeah, crazy. A lot of different things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Gunther is good for a nice chop. That's always fun to see. Yeah. Apparently, a lot of, I don't know, like the Cultaholic guys I watch love LA Knight. Mm-hmm. What did he used to be before LA Knight?
Eli
Drake.
Eli Drake.
Yeah, well, yeah, I well, see, I'm also partial to him because I met him one time when he was at a BLW show.
Oh, well, of course, Tommy. You've met everybody. I'm just kidding.
I have not.
You've been spamming your Instagram account with all these wrestlers and people in wrestling that you've met.
I have not until this weekend.
Yeah,
that's
anyway.
This weekend I'll have met everybody. I'm meeting Minoru Suzuki. Okay, sorry. But he's hilarious because he was the first dude, well, not the first, but he was one of the few dudes I saw cut a promo during the match. Mm-hmm. Like, he was wrestling Madman Mondo, and he, like, just got out of the ring, grabbed the mic from Terry, and just started cutting a promo while they were wrestling. I was like, okay, this is the greatest thing I've ever filmed, and I'm so glad I work here. So
now, B-Ninja just says an interesting, said the ladder match should be Razor Ramon Memorial Tradition.
I heard people talk about that.
Save that for Summer. That was when those matches took place. Was a SummerSlam, right?
The first one was WrestleMania 10.
First one was WrestleMania, okay, but then the second was at SummerSlam. Yeah.
The second one was at SummerSlam.
Wouldn't mind seeing that like a SummerSlam. That'd be a cool, like SummerSlam tradition. Was having that. Yeah. So. All
right. The winner has to hold up 2 belts on the ladder.
Right. Just for the hell of it.
Just for the hell of it. Why not?
NXT Stand and Deliver, for those interested, is Saturday, April 2nd at noon Central Time. Pre-show's probably going to start at 11. It'll be at the American Airlines Center in Dallas. It will be available on Peacock or WWE Network internationally. Like I said, I probably won't catch it live. Maybe the end. Might watch a bit of it later on. So, but.
What you said just now, for those interested, I said, okay, so clearly not the 3 of us.
Certain parts of it. I might, sit. We'll see what the matches are.
I mean, I follow a lot of wrestling people on Twitter and other things. I'll see results and I'll see clips. It'll be cool.
I'll see clips, so.
This is kind of the first major pay-per-view, first WrestleMania major pay-per-view for NXT since the 2.0 rebrand. So let's see how they step up. Let's see how they bring things, So.
Can I point something out?
Sure.
No.
It's just now 9:39, and we have already breezed past WrestleMania and NXT, and that we have spoken an hour for like nearly one match of almost any other show. We are done with both of these.
You believe it? You believe it?
Hey, it went way longer than I predicted. So.
Yeah, I did. Mike said 10 minutes max, but we talked.
Yeah.
We had to
that was because of the 1-minute warnings.
Yeah.
Mike had us done with the show by 9 o'clock. So.
Steve Jones, what's up? What's up, man? Well, we're actually going to get now, as Mike said, into our 1-minute warning. So
1 minute warning.
We're going to do things a little differently this time because Tommy, you're going to go first.
Wait, what? Okay.
Tommy's going to go first, but you are going to talk about in 1 minute everything you are doing this weekend in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for WrestleMania weekend. So, on your mark, get set, go.
Okay, the biggest thing I'm doing is VIP Pro Wrestling for their midnight show with Minoru by God Suzuki. Oh, by the way, it will be streaming. I talked to the promoter. He's streaming it. He will be Minoru Suzuki versus my boy Barrett Brown. Kill him, please. I'm going to do WrestleCon. I'm going to try to do GCW for the culture. Shane Taylor is supposed to be on that show. Mission Pro. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna definitely do Ring of Honor. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze in RCW because I think there's a gap that I can make it to that show. There's something else Saturday. I was thinking of going to, but I can't remember what it is. I'll double check. Sunday is at the hell to the no. Hell to the no. The name is no. My sign is no. Anyway, but no. Sunday, I think there is a couple of morning shows that I might skip so I can probably get some more sleep at my brother's house, and so I can be ready that night. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like, I really thought about on paper, I'm not going to a ton, but for me, man, this is about to be one of the best weekends, man. Really, the only thing I do regret now is I wish I had a better map and plan for past WrestleMania weekends when I went to do stuff like this. Because I would have been all over the place. When I was in New Orleans for 30, I went to way more shit if I had known where everything was. Yeah. Because New Orleans really isn't that big a town.
Yeah.
It's really small. But a lot of the stuff I'm going to in Dallas isn't that far from each other. Of course, the funny part is I said that I'm not used to driving in San Antonio, which literally going from one side of town to the other takes 45 minutes. So it's I give a damn. I'm going to the shit. The cool part is I'm saving on hotel and kind of drive time because my dad's going with me and he's gonna hang out with my brother and I'm staying at my brother's place, so
nice.
That really sucks out. So that gives us a lot of the cost. So yeah.
Very cool.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so you mentioned all that, and I do have to ask one question. Are you going to be able to get, like you did last time we were there 6 years ago, free tickets to whatever the hell Ring of Honor is doing? Because you did that
while
we were there.
For the love of God, I've explained this.
Now, I don't know.
I've explained this 8 times already on this show even. I knew everyone who worked there. I don't know who works there right now. So no, I'm not getting in for free that I know of.
You'll find a way. You know people. You just find a way.
I mean, just send a selfie when you're there,
Yeah, So, come on, you don't want to miss Briscoes versus FTR. Let's be freaking honest.
Okay, no, but even if I get in, I'm not gonna magically get a seat near the 4th row like I did that one time when ACH got me in.
You'll find a way.
Okay.
You'll find a way. I just know you.
Okay, wait. Actually, I can't even tell that live because I don't know. I just remembered something. The first year they were in Houston, I forgot I got it for free that day too. I forgot that.
Anytime it's in Texas, basically. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, man.
Each time it's in Texas for WrestleMania weekend, I get it to ROH for free.
See, here's the thing, Tommy. I hope you have the best time and take the best pictures.
Yes.
But I hope when you look at them again Sunday night, you don't realize that Lance photobombed you in every one, just looking menacing, like he was always there, and you never realized it till you looked at the pictures at the end of the trip.
It's my biggest nightmare that I will just be enjoying. It's even worse because Minoru Suzuki being in Texas means at some point I have to see Lance. I have to. I don't have a choice. So that means eventually I'm going to be like, Suzuki, nice to meet you. Why did something get colder in this room?
I predict the midnight show that you're going to
I'm a bitch!
And then that's a Suzuki Gun double team on you, man.
Okay, but death by Minoru Suzuki on a
that's an honorable way to go.
It's actually what I would want. So if that happens, you guys now know to tell my parents.
That's an automatic ticket to Valhalla, I think. So.
Yeah.
I mean, God's like, man, you were getting in anyway, but dude, you went out like, gee, you're in, bro.
All right, Mike, your turn. Do you have anything to talk about this week?
Yes, hold on.
What's up?
For just a split second.
What happened?
Because I'm pretty sure my computer has been plugged in this whole time.
Uh-oh.
And yet it just told me it got low battery. Okay.
Oh, fun.
All right. That would suck. 1 minute warning. Ready to go. And
I know, right?
Yeah.
Is it not?
Technical difficulty.
Power source plugged in?
Somehow, hold on.
All right. I should start the timer and you talk while you're doing this. That'd be great.
That'd be hilarious.
Okay, there it goes.
All right, we're good.
All right.
Ready? Go.
So, I want to bring some entertainment back to this show, and we're going to talk about AEW and Building Stars. Because you know what? I want to point something out. Okay, hold on. Oh, I gotta pause, honestly. Hold on. Crap, I'm sorry.
Oh man, just the start of that was awesome. So I don't.
Man, that was entertaining enough in itself. Shit,
Yeah.
So.
Okay, sorry. I'm better now.
All right.
Got
45 seconds left.
What was I saying? AEW and building stars.
Go for it.
Okay, look. Don't get me wrong. I think WWE is trying to build Austin Theory, and they put him in things with Vince McMahon, and he takes selfies and he beats some people up. I don't know if he gets cheered that often, to be honest with you. Let me tell you what AEW is doing with a man named Wheeler Yuta. And we have proof that it's not chimed in crowd noise. Okay? This man, who is apparently a great wrestler on the indie scene, honestly, at first glance, doesn't have a lot of personality, great wrestling. See that a lot on the indie scene. Way back when, early on in his run with Best Friends, he has a match with Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley kills him. Literally just like, I felt bad for the kid, because I think Moxley was coming back from something, or maybe it just lost a title. I don't know exactly what it was. And Moxley just destroyed him. And it was brutal. So you book that, you keep the Best Friends going. On the side, you get, or later as time passes on, Bryan Danielson shows up in AEW, kicks the crap out of a ton of people, including Wheeler Yuta early on. Then you put Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley together with William Regal in charge of this thing, and their goal is to start taking some of the younger guys under their wings to help them out. So Wheeler Yuta gets another match with Moxley, which we got to see, and I was like, "Why are you going to do that?" No, it was part of the tag team match.
It was a tag team, yeah.
It was a tag team match, but Wheeler got in, and that San Antonio crowd was legitimately cheering Wheeler while he was getting some offense in on those two guys. I went back and watched that show. This stupid computer. William Regal was talking nicely about him on commentary briefly. Okay? Come to this past week on Dynamite. It's Wheeler Yuta versus Bryan Danielson. Again, William Regal's on commentary talking about him, because he had the slap thing after the match we saw. Apparently, Wheeler Yuta told the Best Friends that he doesn't want to be the best friend; he wants to be the best wrestler, right? Because apparently he also doesn't like who's Trent as much as the other guys,
right?
So you have him in this match, then you have him getting over moves on Bryan Danielson. This guy is in the process of being made by AEW. The crowd was again behind him, and legit, if you go back and watch Dynamite, there was almost like an awe when Bryan Danielson won the match. Like, they were so much behind Yuta, there was a little bit of a because they really thought Yuta was having a chance. And I'm just saying, as much as you say, oh, they just signed all these big WWE guys, they are trying with their younger guys. MJF is an AEW original. Jungle Boy is an original. I obviously had indie time, but this is where they're starting. Wheeler Yuta. They are trying to build guys that down the road could be stars. I know this is like a 7-minute warning at this point, but it's something that I don't feel like you see enough from WWE. Maybe they think that's what they're doing with 2.0 now. I don't know, but I don't know. Getting approval from William Regal, Jon Moxley, and Bryan Danielson seems like a lot more to me than, taking selfies with Vince McMahon, who you can't understand because he grumbles now, and I'm not sure if he knows what he's doing. But
I assure you, he doesn't.
Very, very true, though. I mean, he was definitely over in the crowd, people chanting for him, even when after he got slapped by Regal. I mean, people were still cheering for him over there. So
actually, I forgot he has a match with Josh Woods for the Pure title at ROH.
Ooh, nice, nice.
For real.
Yeah, Tommy's getting free to that one too. All right.
I am not gonna get free.
Bullshit. We'll see.
And I know of.
All right. Better see a receipt.
Okay, Cody Rhodes, stop shooting, working us into a shoot there.
All right.
I'll never hear the end of this.
I want to spend my 1 minute warning saying a couple things. First of all, to Big E, I really hope this isn't the end of your career. That was a very scary fall. And it sucks because within the last year, you've gone from being WWE champion on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine to possibly having your career ended. So I do wish you well. But I also want to shout out, and I also want to shout out Dylan Dunbar, who announced today officially the 5-year anniversary when he started heavy metal wrestling, that he was closing it up for good. You know, he thought about trying to pass it on to somebody who would take it over. It just didn't work out that way. And rather than do like a one last hurrah show and just kind of do this, he's like, that's good. I'm ready for it to just right off into the sunset. 5 years ago to the day that he started it. A lot of people may laugh at this and say, oh, your promotion only lasted 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Thank you, Dylan, for 5 years. Because not a lot of people have the guts to even run a promotion, let alone a show. You know, even if it was a one-time show, or, you know, so we've seen promotions in this town fizzle out after less than a year. Let's be honest, you made it 5 years. 2 of that was in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, I'm sure that didn't help things. But I'm happy for him. He's starting a family. I think that is very important. I understand that too. I mean, Tina and I haven't made it to a whole lot of wrestling shows since we had kids. But thank you for 5 years. Thank you for all the memories. Please don't ever look back on this and say it was all a disappointment, because it wasn't. You did something different. You did something new. And when I interviewed you years ago about it, of the people I've interviewed, and this is no knock on anyone I've interviewed, you always struck me as someone who had the most passion. You had that youthful passion for the business, and I do really love that about you, and I hope you don't ever lose that. Maybe years down the road, if you do decide finally, okay, we'll do one last heavy metal show, please do so. Don't feel like, I'm sure fans are going to want to see it just one more time. So thank you for 5 great years of heavy metal wrestling. Good luck being a father, because trust me, you're going to need it. But it's a lot like wrestling. It's something you got to have a passion for to be good at it. And that I've learned in the time that I've spent as a dad. And of course, to you, Dylan, Mike and I always have a special place in our hearts for you, a fellow Central Catholic alum. He's 10 years after us in our graduation year. So thank you, Dylan.
But we still could have played. Y'all still could have played him at that tournament.
Could have, but his class wasn't in there. Although technically could have. But maybe Dylan, next year you can be out there at the alumni softball tournament with us too, or something like that. So we'll see. Thanks again for 5 great years. We do appreciate it. If you want to come back onto this show and for an interview just to kind of talk about it, I'd love to have you on. Just shoot me a message or I'll reach out to you, whichever way it is. And we can set this up and do a little interview on what you've learned in 5 years as a promoter. So, Mike, go ahead.
Dylan, I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yep.
Heavy metal reunion show at the alumni softball game in between. I'm just going to throw it out there. Just going to say.
I mean, if he books Raven again, that'll make more sense than you realize.
Yeah. If enough beers get thrown back, some of those alums are going to get in the ring and try and fuck around with each other.
That's what's even going to be better.
Okay.
Ooh, if that happens, book Sabu instead.
just a chop booth. Yeah. Some of those younger guys, after a few, and then be like, "Yeah, I could get chopped."
Yeah. If you haven't seen my interview with Dylan Dunbar, go check it out on our archives. You can look up under the Countdown City WrestleCast playlist here on YouTube and find it. It's in there somewhere. I think it might be. I don't know if it's a weekly or a bonus episode, but go check it out. We actually did the interview in the heavy metal ring with the championship right in front of us, which is pretty cool. So, thank you again, everybody, for joining us this week on the Countdown City WrestleCast for WrestleMania weekend. Let us know what's up, Tommy. Go ahead.
Last thing, the Mad Dog Ken Johnson.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I wanted to mention that too. That news came out surprising yesterday. Another Central Catholic graduate, by the way. Mad Dog Ken Johnson. He was
I did not know that.
Wow.
70. If he's 72, then I think he's the same class as your dad, Mike, but I'm not sure.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I don't.
No way!
He's from
Why
the
did
70s.
I not know this way the guy was alive? God.
He's from the 70s, yeah. I know that. I don't know exactly what year.
Okay.
Maybe you ask your dad. Your dad might know him for all I know.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this question off. Is Ken Johnson his legit name?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
I think so. I think
okay, I wasn't sure if that's his,
yeah,
his wrestling name.
Yeah, he's
my dad actually knows John Adams.
A lot of Central Catholic connection here in wrestling. Yeah, of course. So yeah, he's class of the 70s. I don't know if your dad's here. You might want to ask him if you knew him. If I get in touch with Coach Rico knows everybody that went through Central, seems like.
Did you know Ken Johnson, who you thought might have wanted to become a wrestler?
Yeah, so he was either early 70s or late 70s. I'm not sure, but I remember talking with him at a show that's where he went. I just can't remember the graduation year. So pretty amazing.
I wish
stuff,
I would have known that before.
Yeah, but yeah, he passed away. I know he was in hospice for a little while, so he's not suffering anymore, but he's legendary.
Yeah,
in this town, especially.
From what I understood, he was like in good spirits. He said essentially he was ready to go. Like from what I understand,
was he ever in a bad mood? Think about it when he was not. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, true. But,
I
got to the picture of me flipping him and Andy Dalton off, and it was like, oh man, good times, good times.
I have a feeling Dalton probably sent you the picture. So.
Don't forget to reach out to all the people you flipped off over the years and just tell them, hey. Yeah. Still the same. I love you.
I don't have that much time, Mike. I don't really know
even if they say fuck you back, just at least you reached out and you took the first step. That's happening.
Hey, but Lantoy doesn't really talk to me like that anymore. He's really busy.
Look, Lantoy's love language is putting you through tables, apparently, or from what I understand. But people express their feelings in different ways. So
rather he didn't, but okay.
At least you took the first step, right? Yeah.
Lance, what are you gonna do?
I hate this show.
Ken Johnson, thank you for all the memories. Thank you for what you've done for wrestling. I believe he was one of Shawn Michaels' first matches or something, like when he was up and coming, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Pretty legendary for that
I would not at all be surprised.
Yeah.
You're here. Yeah.
The Mad Dog, up until the last time I saw him wrestling, always had the dog collar with him. Always with the chain and everything, and barking his way around the ring and into the ring, and could still go with hang with some of the young guys too.
I mean, that's just the manager though. He was just as fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I meant to make a video to say this, but to me, he was the worst heel because he couldn't stop laughing at his own dumb shit, and we couldn't stop laughing because of it. And I was like, "You're the worst heel ever," because no one is taking this seriously.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Thank you. I mean, there's so many wrestlers we've lost during this pandemic that I was really hoping to get to say hi and see again when this was all over. And he was one of them. He's one of them. And it's going to be sad to not be able to shake hands with him and talk about how Central's doing, So, but yeah, I thank you so much for the memories in and out of the ring. We do appreciate it. You're always so nice talking outside the ring when you had your fanny pack on, signing autographs and everything. It was pretty cool. So, if you guys have any personal memories of Ken Johnson besides Tommy flipping him off, what you got? Do you have anything, Mike? I don't know if you got to chat with him.
No, I mean, I never really interacted with him much, but I remember him being at a bunch of shows that we went to.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree, or I think along similar lines of Tommy, like he was kind of trying to be the bad guy, but but you could tell he just always was having such a blast. There was like trying to hide a smile half the time.
Yeah.
And you can tell that just, he had done it for so long in his life that it was just second nature to him, and it was just so much fun. And, I don't know if everyone can say that about their job after so many years, that they just still really enjoy doing it. So
yeah. Well, guys, it is WrestleMania weekend, and it's weird not being as enthused for it as we have been in the past, but that's just the way things are right now, So we'll see how the shows go. We'll talk about it next week, kind of recap the weekend itself, what stands out from us. Tommy will give us a little experience about what he has. Will not include a receipt for a paid ticket to Ring of Honor, let's be completely honest here. And
I swear, I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm going to show it on this show when I get back.
Bro, it's a bad economy. I'm not putting blame on you if you get in free, okay? I understand, all right?
Well, I don't know if this helps at all, but I actually haven't bought the ticket yet. I was going to do it when I got there, so...
Like, someone's going to be there like, here, Tommy, here's a free ticket. He's like, no, you don't understand.
No.
I can't accept this.
Can you at least give me a receipt that says I paid something? Yeah, so...
I'm not that prideful. I'll probably say yes anyway. And look, I'll just come with the show.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, guys, so... I think it was interesting. You didn't pay, did you? No.
Come back with, like, a piece of torn paper, like, admit one, ROH.
Wait, I write it while we're on the show, just like it. All ROH ticket.
Super Curd of Honor. Ah, crap! It was card.
Anyway, safe travels up there. Be very safe on the road and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And be careful out there. People, I don't know if anybody's gonna be from all over the world's coming, but this is kind of be central to the wrestling world for a few days, and that's gonna be pretty cool. So enjoy it. Getting ready to make the travel. We got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend, heels and babyfaces, and remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake. Boom. Adios, Gunther.